of Module 3. The second half of Module 3 deals with what's called the coordinate plane, which is kind of like what you try to do last night, where you have a piece of graph paper separated into 4 regions, as you'll see, which are called quadrants. All right. So starting on page 3 in the new lesson, talk about ordered pairs. Ordered pairs are sort of like directions. They indicate where to go in one direction and then indicate where to go in a second direction. Okay? An ordered pair gives the location of a point on a coordinate plane. That's what this sheet is called from here on out. We're going to call this the coordinate plane. And there's an example at the bottom of that page as well. The first number, also called the first coordinate, tells you how far to move right or left along the x-axis from the origin point. The second number or coordinate tells you how far to move up, which is positive, or down, which is negative, along the y-axis from the origin. The numbers in an ordered pair are called coordinates. The first number is always called the x-coordinate. The second number in the ordered pair is called the y-coordinate. So if you take a look at the examples, and we look at point A, from the origin, starting make-believe, that's always like your starting place. Origin means start. You start at 0, and to get to point A, you move 3 units along the x-axis to the right. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And then, because the second coordinate is also positive, you move up 5 points, or 5 leaps. And that's how you get to point A. Okay, so it's 3 leaps, or three steps, or 3 numbers from the origin to the right, and then up 5. Okay, here's B. To get to B, first of all, what direction do I have to move, left or right? Because you always have to move left or right first, and then you worry about the up-down. So how many steps from the origin to get to point B? Brian? Okay, and then how many steps left? 1, 2, 3, which is -3, because we've learned this. Think about it. If you look at these, there are really 2 number lines that are crisscrossing. Okay, this number line here is what we've been dealing all along. Everything to the left of 0 or negative, and anything to the right is going to be positive. All right, then finally I move -3. How many steps up to get to B? Jack? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Now, if you go to the next page, unfortunately, I couldn't get all the example points on the same page. So go to the next page, and they want you to fill in the blanks with the correct words. So point C from the previous page, because you have to kind of flip back and forth. Point C is -3, 5. So I have to move 3 units on what axis? Alex Vecchio. Right, always x-axis first. Alex, I'm going to stay with you here. What direction? Everybody to the right? Be careful. To the left is negative. And then 5 units up or down. Agree? Let's take a look at it. Point C. Here's point C. I have to go 3 to the left and then 5 down. And when you move up or down, what axis are you moving along? Bridget? Correct. All right, finally, what about point D? Find it from the previous page, and it's 3 units along what axis? Somebody I haven't heard from. Go ahead, Max. Always X first. What direction is positive?
Right.
What direction is negative? When you move down or up, along what axis is that?
Why?
Because I asked. A little joke. I said, along what axis? And he says, why? I go, because I asked.
I don't Why?
So good that it went over your heads.
I totally get that.
Kelly had the best answer. She says she got the joke. She just didn't think it was funny. It's okay. That comes out of my mouth, isn't it? Don't worry. All right, yes.
Does it matter if your X's and Y, the X's are uppercase or lowercase?
It doesn't matter to me, but if you really want to know technically, they're lowercase. I've seen it either way, to be honest with you, though. All right, either way is fine. I'm okay with it. But however, Bridget, when we do quadrants coming up, I'm going to list quadrants using Roman numerals. I'll show it to you. Okay. Here we go. Some of you know it. Guys, we're rolling. We're rolling. Okay, example 2 is understanding the coordinate plane as it relates to something called quadrants. If you take your coordinate plane and you draw an x and a y axis, it kind of divides everything up into four regions called quadrants. For the most part, the kids get that. It's knowing which quadrant's which is a lot of times confused. So we always start in the upper right-hand corner, and we call that quadrant 1, and that's given the Roman numeral 1. Then here's what you have to remember. The opposite direction of the hands of a clock, what we call counterclockwise, is the direction that we have to go when we label the remaining quadrants. So starting with the upper right, you are now going to go to which quadrant? Which is upper left. And that's called quadrant 2. And that's what Roman numeral 2 looks like. Then opposite hands of a clock, because it's going to go, it's technically going this way. We now go to lower left, and that's 3. And then finally, the last one is quadrant 4, which, as I overheard some of you, it's the Roman letter IV, stands for 4. Try to remember that when they ask you. I really kind of want you to know the actual, the way it's done. And that way it also doesn't get confused with points, which are regular numbers. Chat.
Isn't 5 B?
You know what 6 is?
The
I. You got it. Good. Okay. So let's do a little quick practice. I'm going to give you the points verbally. You tell me what quadrant it is in. But first, Smiley, you have a question? That's just the way it gets done. It's just the language of math. That's the way they do it. But plus, it does not get confused with coordinates, which are regular numbers. Okay, ready? If I give you the coordinates 2, 4, what quadrant would you be in? Momo. Let's see if she's right. X is always first, so I'm going to move what direction, left or right, to get to 2?
Right.
1, 2. 4, positive 4, up or down? 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's right. Come up and get a ticket.
I go next? I go next. No, I guess
I get it.
Ready? Negative 5, 5. Anthony.
No, wait, I know. I know. Wait, say it again.
Negative 5, 5.
Everybody, quadrant. Please, I deserve it.
Kayla Wilson. Let's do it. This is why you got to be careful. X is always first. So, negative 5 from the origin, left or right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Positive 5, up or down? Should have stayed with your original answer.
You were looking at me.
I was not looking at you at all. You heard everybody chirping away, and you changed your answer.
He was looking at
Quadrant 2 is correct.
Yeah, real special.
Next point.
Could it also be quadrant 4?
-1,
No.
-3.
10?
Krista. Let's see. What'd I say? -1, -3, right? Left or right?
Left. Quadrant
-3, up or down?
down.
She's right. Come on, get a ticket.
I just
Okay, ready? Here we go. -6, 5. Good, Jack.
Quadrant 2.
Correct. Come up.
Thank you. What?
-6, 5. Okay, always X first, left or right, then up or down. 5, -1. 5 and -1. Nick, come up and get. Last one, but it's a trick question. 0, 7.
Oh.
Anthony Mara.
Think.
0, 7.
I get this. I get this. Quadrant 8.
Ryan Russo.
Quadrant 4.
Charlie.
Y-axis.
Y-axis.
Oh.
Let me explain, but he had a little bit of an advantage because he took those that had started early. First of all, where is 0, 7? Could somebody come up and plot it? Steven, come up and plot it. Charlie, come up and get a ticket.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, take it.
Grab a ticket for yourself, too. Okay.
I win.
So, when it's on a line, in this case the y-axis, it's not in any quadrant. So we say no quadrant, but in... If you need it, there's one on the table right on the no, don't rip it. Don't rip
Found
it.
one in here.
No, there's one here. Grab that one.
That one's ripped.
Oh, then take a new one.
Let's go.
All right, my point is, when it doesn't lie in any quadrant, all we do is list the axis in which it lies on. Okay? So if it lies on the y, you just say y-axis, and you'll have to do that when you do the exercise. Okay, so here's what you guys are going to do. In your groups, everybody, including advanced, has to do pages 5 through 9, and you'll see it ends at the top. Then advanced is going to go on and do pages 9, which is the bottom half, 10, and something new that I printed today
Was it fun?
called the extension, which leads into really what lesson 7 is all about. But before you can do the extension, you have to check your answers and understand the advanced and why the answer is what it is in order for you to do the extension, which is tricky. Okay? All right, go to it.